Aunt May hears a strange noise coming from Peter's room. Faint at first, she slowly walks upstairs and gently opens the door. As she looks around, her eyes land on a shirt lying on the floor. She steps closer and notices it's torn in a strange way, but suddenly, a shadow glides past the window. Startled, she freezes, staring toward the glass, but after a moment, she convinces herself it's nothing. What she doesn't know is that Peter is hiding just above her on the roof, clinging tightly and struggling to stay quiet. Across the city, in a dark abandoned warehouse, 3 armed thugs are holding a terrified woman hostage, planning to extort $1 million from her wealthy father. Before they can act, an explosion suddenly rips through the wall. Emerging from it is the Punisher, moving without hesitation as he takes down 2 of the thugs with brutal efficiency. The last one panics and fires wildly, but it's useless. The Punisher is already behind him. The thug drops his weapon and begs for mercy, but the Punisher coldly explains that prison won't change him. That he'll just end up back on the streets. In desperation, the thug jumps out the window, only to be arrested by police waiting below. The Punisher frees the hostage, disappears into his van, and drives off into the night, where his partner Microchip contacts him with new information, a new target, Spider-Man. Back at home, Peter stands in front of a mirror, staring at his reflection in shock as he sees the full extent of his mutation. Determined to keep going, he modifies his suit to accommodate the extra limbs, but soon realizes something else is wrong. His spider sense is firing uncontrollably, sending constant waves of pain through his head. Choosing isolation over the risk of being discovered, he puts on his suit and swings out into the night. Soon after, Spider-Man arrives at the Hardy Foundation, where Dr. Crawford is shocked by how much worse his condition has become. As he struggles through intense pain, she takes a blood sample and mentions Morbius, fearing his transformation has already begun. When Peter says he hasn't heard anything, she turns on the TV, revealing news reports that Morbius has vanished. Felicia Hardy publicly blames Spider-Man, and J. Jonah Jameson calls for his capture, turning the city against him. Elsewhere, the Punisher and Microchip watch the same broadcast, and Microchip convinces him to bring Spider-Man in alive, at least for now. Back at the lab, a report shows Spider-Man spotted at another attack, but Peter knows it isn't him, it's Morbius. Ignoring Crawford's warnings, he rushes out and soon finds him, tackling him midair before they crash onto a rooftop. Morbius pauses, shocked at Spider-Man's extra arms, but quickly attacks, slamming him into a building. Disoriented, Spider-Man tries to fire a web, but one of his new arms moves instead, throwing him off balance. That moment of hesitation allows Morbius to grab him and throw him off the rooftop before escaping into the night. Before Spider-Man can recover, police helicopters flood the area with searchlights, forcing him to flee, unaware that the Punisher is already watching. The Punisher quickly intercepts him, trapping him in an energy field, but Spider-Man manages to break free, though not before a tracking device is secretly planted on him. From above, the Punisher's battle van locks onto Spider-Man's signal and begins its assault, firing a chemical that makes surfaces too slick to cling to. Spider-Man loses his grip and falls, barely saving himself by webbing onto a passing news helicopter, but the strain on his body continues to worsen. A missile destroys his web line, sending him falling again before he's caught in a reinforced net. Spider-Man tears free from the net and escapes, but the Punisher continues the chase, pinning him to a wall and accusing him of abducting Morbius. Spider-Man denies it, breaks free, and manages to push him back before police sirens force another escape. Later, Spider-Man watches from the shadows of a hospital as doctors rush in a victim suffering massive blood loss, confirming that Morbius is still feeding. Despite the intense pain tearing through his body, Peter refuses to stop, driven by the memory of Uncle Ben and the responsibility he carries. He briefly returns home and sees Aunt May and Mary Jane waiting for him, worried, but he stays hidden. Inside, he analyzes a tape recorder and traces a location to an old clock tower, where he finally finds Morbius waiting. Furious, Morbius reveals the truth and attacks again, but Spider-Man manages to force him back, sending him crashing out into the night. Before Spider-Man can follow, a rocket slams into the tower. The Punisher has arrived. Explosions rip through the structure as it begins to collapse, forcing Spider-Man to escape. The chase continues across the city until another blast sends him crashing into an abandoned warehouse. Inside, everything goes quiet as Spider-Man struggles to move, hiding in the darkness. Moments later, the Punisher enters, scanning the area with a flashlight and weapon ready. But in the shadows, something begins to change. Spider-Man's body convulses as the mutation rapidly worsens, twisting him into something far less human. By the time the Punisher steps closer, it's already too late. Spider-Man lunges from the darkness with terrifying speed, knocking the weapon away and attacking with raw, savage force, no longer fighting like a hero, but like a creature completely consumed by what he's becoming. And that's how the story ends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos.